and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss the ubiquitous bottom shelf. I think everyone has a bookcase, and oftentimes the lowest bookshelf is hidden behind a table or a chair, or it's low on the ground, so it gets kind of messed up with cats and dogs and babies and things like that. And I think, you know, it's very interesting to go through someone's bottom shelf because a lot of times they'll keep a certain aesthetic on the top. On YouTube videos and things like that, you only tend to see the middle section or the top section of someone's bookshelf, but you never see the bottom. And I always think someone's hiding something in that bottom shelf. So today I am going to give you a tour of my bottom shelf. So we are going to leave this room to, unfortunately, a less lighted room. So the light's going to be not the best for this video, so I really apologize about that, but hopefully you'll find the content interesting. And maybe it'll satisfy some sort of like voyeuristic part of your personality. We'll see. But yeah, let me take you to the other room. All right, adventure time. Let me show you what we're dealing with. So this bookshelf has a bottom shelf, but I mean, it's like non-fiction, and then, sorry, my violin's in the way. Just non-fiction and then like oversized manga. So nothing to see here, but the ubiquitous, oh look, I just bought a bunch of new shoes because my old shoes all look like this. So these are gonna get thrown away to be replaced by these bad boys. Very exciting. Anyway, back to the ubiquitous bottom shelf. Here we go. So I don't know, unofficial bookshelf tour. All my shelves are double stacked. In the back of these, it's all my soccer manga series are in the back. And then here I have all my Émile Zola books, my Jules Verne, French TBR. Here's also like French TBR up until here. These I've read. And then here I have all my Japanese language novels, so all TBR, with a few books mixed within where I started reading them and I put them away, either because they were too difficult or I just, you know, it's the thing where I just stopped reading. And then from here to here, I've read all of these. So, I mean, I have quite a lot on my TBR shelf that obviously has not been read and won't be read anytime soon, because I think you've all noticed that I've not been including any Japanese language books in my reading updates. So yeah. Here I have my English TBR pile. Like this, I don't think I'm ever gonna read this, to be honest. This is one of the books where I wasn't sure if I'll ever read it. Here I'm good, except here Le Portail by François Bizot is about the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia. And this is actually a fake book. What's it called? Like I bought it in Cambodia, and they all like, even the so-called official bookshelves, like mass copy the books, like they scan all the pages and then just print them out. And so there's missing pages in this because I didn't realize it, and so I think I need to just throw that away. But I mean, I'll read these. But here I have all my Japanese related TBR pile with nonfiction TBR. My darling dog who passed away when I was in grad school. Anyway, the ubiquitous, here we go, the ubiquitous bottom shelf. As you can see, it's much taller so that you can fit what I need. Let me give you an overview, and then I will actually pull things out so that you can see what we're dealing with. So it's organized. I mean, I'm not ever not going to be organized, but it definitely has very random items on it, just because it's mostly my shelf for larger items, like book items and things like that. So yeah, let me pull these out and show you what we're dealing with. All right, so we've changed our setup, and now I'm going to start pulling stuff from the bottom bookshelf or to see what we are dealing with. So first thing is I keep all of my like official documents here because I don't have a desk, so there's nowhere else I can sort of like put them away. But for this one I really like because it's all of the orchestra concerts that I've been in. So I've kept all of the flyers associated with my orchestra, and then so it has all the programs. So I love this. This is a really great collection of memories. Next, I have my philately book. If you don't know philately or philately, sorry, philately is the proper pronunciation. Philately is the collection of stamps, postage stamps to be exact. So I do collect postage stamps on a very like casual level. So these are just stamps. Show you this way, from used stamps from Japan. And then I have some up from other countries. Quite a bit from Russia, stuff like that, all modern. And then in the back are my new stamps that sort of show like important events in Japan while I'm here. So that makes it really fun for me. For example, this is the collection of stamps that came out when the new emperor, that just fell out, I'll have to put it back in. But when the new emperor went on the throne in Japan, they released this set of stamps. And so I have stuff like that, which, you know, it's just like it's a great way to sort of commemorate really big events that are happening while I'm here in Japan. So I also have the Olympics. So this is the when they run the fire across the country from Greece. I can't think what's it called. Torch relay. There we go. The torch relay stamps. This was for the Rugby World Cup that took place in Japan, which I attended one group stage game, and then I attended the Japan quarterfinal, which was so much fun. I really enjoyed that. So just like stuff like that, just like really great ways to commemorate special events in Japan and whatnot. So that's my philately bind up. Then we go back into boring stuff. I have, this light is gonna go off and on because it's motion detected, so just be aware of that. Private pension, 年金、確定証出年金. Very important to have pension and retirement funds set up for yourself. This is my private retirement and fund and all the documentation associated with that. Very exciting information. I also have my TV manual because the TVs here in Japan there are actually a lot of extra features I'm not too familiar with because I had a TV back in the US, but it was super basic and I didn't have a cable package. I actually just used my TV to watch DVDs, so I had a DVD player, but I didn't watch actual like cable TV. So I just kept this because there's some things I actually need to look up every once in a while. Very exciting. This is cool. This is a catalog, although for the year 2016, for ukiyo-e. Ukiyo are woodblock prints. So this is a catalog for purchasing ukiyo-e from this particular gallery. Absolutely beautiful and something I'm very much interested in. So it's kind of a very convenient, a convenient guide for knowing sort of like expected price points and things like that. And then also, you know, just kind of serves like a unofficial like art book as well. So you get to like see a bunch of like the different types of ukiyo-e that exist. You have all the artists, periods, etc. So I kept this, even though it's old and 2016, obviously things are going to be changed. They're not going to have these in stock anymore, the gallery at least. But it's nice to have this as a reference, because it's a good aid to actually study what's on the market. Then I have something a little bit more official for ukiyo-e. This I absolutely loved. This was from the book from a museum that had this absolutely, look at this foiling, I absolutely love that. That has such a great impact. But it was of the great artists of ukiyo-e in Japan. So you have Utamaro, Sharaku, Hokusai, Hiroshige, and Kuniyoshi, who are the great ukiyo-e artists of Japan. And this exhibition was so well laid out. It was absolutely beautiful. So this has every single print that was in the exhibit by each artist. And like just full main pages. You're not bogged down by text, which is really, really great. You can just really have a great view of the art. And then it is bilingual at the very, very beginning, which is nice, but also, well, and then unfortunately, not for me because I can read Japanese, so at least the front part is bilingual, but the back is what I really, really loved because it includes all of the labels like that were next to the ukiyo-e print at the gallery, that gives like the name, the artist, when it was created or when it was printed, and then all the information specific to that specific print. And then, I mean, these give you a detail about the print and give you so much absolutely wonderful information that was just like, it's just, I mean, this stuff is gold. This is fantastic. Unfortunately, this part's not in English. But I mean, I don't think you can buy this unless you went to the gallery. I don't think this would be available in any bookstore. But it's one of the best, like, comprehensive ukiyo-e books that I've seen so far. And it was just exactly what I was looking for because I love this stuff. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So then we go into my favorite Hanga artist, Kawase Hasui. You can see all the labels from like, my mom was sort of tagging her favorites because we're planning on buying some prints. And then, yeah, this is one of my favorite artists. He's very, very, very famous, very recognizable. But it's just modern ukiyo-e. Let's see if I can, there we go, turn this on for a little bit more light. But just absolutely beautiful landscapes of Japan. What I really like are his works that take place at night, because being able to print the night, I think is absolutely stunning. So like this one in the snow with the pagoda is quite famous. And I mean, his use of color, I just absolutely love. And so this is a book that I really, really absolutely love. And I hate it because like I bought this at a gallery showing of his works, but I showed up too late, and so it was museum quality prints of his work, which means, you know, it's a lot more expensive, but it's museum quality. It's what you want, or what I want, what I'm looking for. But unfortunately, I got to the exhibit too late, and everything was already sold. But yeah, I'm on the lookout because there's a few that I just would love to have and own. And it used to be labeled, but I think my mom accidentally pulled it out. But yeah, just absolutely beautiful. My favorite artist here in Japan. After that, I have the standard stuff that is, I think, on every person's shelf, every foreigner's shelf who lives in Japan, which is basically study guides. So these are for the Japanese language proficiency exam, N1 and then N2. I stopped studying a long time ago, which is not something I should have done. I should be still studying. And I've never actually taken the exams. This is just a good way to have the grammar. But anyway, this is the Sou Matome series. And so this is grammar, reading comprehension, and then another grammar, but the higher level. So N1 is highest level. Yeah, fairly standard. Nothing too special with that, which is why I have like spirals with, oh, this one's empty. This is one I need to fill out, but I was just like reviewing like grammar points with this one. So if you want to see my handwriting in Japanese, I don't know if that's clear enough, but there you go. I have tiny writing in English and Japanese, whatever language. I have very, very tiny writing. I write like a typewriter, basically. I once got pulled over by a cop, and it was before I had a cursive signature. I was still just like printing my name because I was speeding, and I thought he wasn't gonna give me a ticket because he was being so nice to me. And like I signed his little form, and he's like, "Wow, you have a nice handwriting. Are you an engineer?" And I'm like, if I say yes, will you not give me a speeding ticket? But I got the speeding ticket anyway. I don't speed anymore, by the way, because, well, A, I don't drive in Japan, but even when I'm still driving in the US, I don't speed anymore because it's a waste of money and you don't really get there any faster. Well, you do, but I don't. Just don't do it. Don't do it. But any case, let's pass that story. Next on my shelves are the works by Mateusz Urbanowicz, who I believe he's Polish, if I remember correctly. This is his first book where he painted storefronts of very traditional stores in Japan, and I absolutely love his style of work. He does everything by watercolor, which I think is absolutely astonishing. So it has all of his storefronts. Basically it's always a double spread. He gives the actual store in its entirety, and then he goes through details. The details for me are less interesting. I think it's very interesting for people who study watercolor because he describes how he paints things and how, like, what he's looking for and things like that. So it's interesting in that aspect. But for me, it's mostly just these full color spreads because I think it's definitely shows the charm of Japan that is that makes Japan Japan, and that unfortunately is getting like replaced by like skyscrapers and glass buildings that you can find anywhere. This is his second book, which is Tokyo at Night. This one's the one I prefer. It's the one I like the most. They're both beautiful, but I really like this one, where he just takes scenes. He just painted scenes of Tokyo at night. And the thing that's really great about these is that they're just such like fully just domestic, like highways. Basically, it's just like him doing watercolors of highways, but his manipulation of color, the way he's able to use watercolor to manipulate this and create, reflections on the pavement and things like that, I think is absolutely stunning, and just really shows the real Tokyo. I think that's what's most important. It really shows, like here it's just like apartment buildings. Like that's not interesting. Like that's not interesting at all. But when you live here, it definitely, you can feel, oh yeah, this is Tokyo. This is what Tokyo really looks like. And that's really great because on Instagram, you always have these like overly saturated photos, like super neon and things like that. And yeah, that's all fun and it creates an aesthetic, but when it comes to actual Tokyo, I'm going to show you one where it's just a watercolor of, if I can find it, it's just a watercolor of a parking lot basically, and it's just fantastic. It's so absurd. But like, yeah, here we go. This is like the exit of a parking lot, which is just like super like everyday scenery. Usually you don't care about this stuff, but there is a little bit of flavor, and he's really able to capture that that atmosphere, which I really, really, really like. So definitely recommend his works. After that, I have So this is the more interesting side of the shelf. But I have the Art Lover's Guide to Japanese Museums. This is a really beautiful and great succinct guide of museums all throughout Japan. I've been to quite a few of these, and it's really great. So this is definitely a highly recommended book if you ever plan on traveling to Japan and want to visit a lot of the really, really beautiful museums. So like everything's separated by like the region, Tokyo, Kyoto, and like the more like further away areas of Japan. So like I've been to this museum and it's really, really beautiful. Like this is the only thing there is. It's just the museum itself is an art installation, and that's really, really beautiful. So I really like this. Then I have the 2022 catalog of Japanese stamps. So these catalogs are for philatelists, so you can see what stamps, all the stamps that have been created by the Japanese post office. So every country has their own catalog, and it tells you what date they were released, and then sort of the value they have, whether they're in used condition or mint condition, and things like that. And it's just, again, it's like with the previous catalog I have from Ukiyo-e, it's just like miniature glimpses of art that are really, really fantastic, and it just like, it makes me want to like own everything, because they're all like Japan has a really great stamp market, unlike the US where they're really ugly. And France, I'm looking at you, France, your stamps are hideous. Like France has so much beauty in its entire country, and they could create like these amazing stamp series, and they chose ugliness and poor design and just like, yeah, French stamps, hideous, incredibly hideous. Japanese stamps, fantastic, a model as to what a stamp should be. Next, I have a Japanese grammar dictionary, which is very fantastic. It's all in Japanese. Once you get to a certain level in a language, you need to stop using bilingual dictionaries. You should be using dictionaries only in that language, because that's the only way you're going to capture the nuance of the language. It's the only way. So it's all the grammar points, all the examples are written in Japanese. Like this is a very succinct, very good guide to Japanese grammar, and highly, highly recommended. So that's like the more interesting side of the Ubiquitous lower shelf. Then I have some traditional American pottery that's really, really beautiful, and it's where I keep like my bookmarks, basically, nothing else. Or if I have like a business card, I'm temporarily put in until I deal with it. Then I have some more notebooks, which isn't very exciting, but then we get into the cookbooks. Ooh, not to hit my TV. We have the cookbooks next, and some travel guides. Ooh, this one's not looking very good. This one I bought at the very beginning for like basic Japanese grammar, Japanese like home style cooking. The title is so terrible. It's Danna-san Teishoku, which means your husband's lunchboxes. Yep, this is a guide to making your husband the best lunchbox ever as he goes to work and you stay at home as the proper little housewife you are supposed to be. So the title of this is absolutely terrible, and it's like basic, like super basic. Like, you know, stay home, wear your little apron in full makeup, and make your husband's lunches. Which you should make your family lunches. Someone should make their family lunches. I'm not saying that's bad, but I think you know what I mean. But like, yeah, just super, super basic home style cooking, which I got and never made anything from it. This is another one. This is just basic like Japanese style fish recipes that you can do in a fry pan. So super simple. Only made one thing from this. To be honest, I don't make that much Japanese food. I try, obviously. I have the idea, there's a concept, there's an image in my mind that I'm going to do this. And then it just never happens. It is what it is. But here I have one for Konya kono nabe de kimari. So choose this nabe. Nabe is basically a hot pot in Japan. So yeah, this is just a bunch of hot pot recipes. I've actually done a few of these. This one's actually one of the better ones. I chose it because there's very few recipes, very clear because of all the photos, very simple ingredients. In Japan, you can make this very quickly, which is, you know, why they're very, very popular. But yeah, this is just one of the better ones. This is one of the ones I like better. This is another one called 初めてでも美味しく作れる和食. So even if it's the first time, you can very easily and very tastily make this Japanese style cooking. So once again, basic, standard, like eat at home style recipes, which again, I've never actually cooked from because you get the idea to do cooking and then you just don't do it. But like, here's the thing, like a lot of Japanese food, everyone says it's super, super healthy. A lot of this is actually fried. There's a lot of fried food in Japanese home cooking, and that's just not really my thing. It smells, and frying like oil, fried oil really fills the apartment with a lot of smells, which I tend to not really like. So that cuts out like always like half of the recipes because I'm not gonna fry anything. But I mean, this book actually has some really, really nice recipes. So if you live in Japan, like this is actually a really good recipe book. Even if I never make anything from it, because I usually make French food. Then I have some travel stuff. So I have some magazines for the most beautiful areas in Japan to go see the cherry blossoms. And I use this as a guide during cherry blossom season to go see new spots with really beautiful, like extensive cherry blossom views. And it's definitely like what it is. I am losing all light outside and inside, but yeah, there's like definitely I've seen some really beautiful places because of these magazines, which is really great. So I have that for the spring, for Sakura season, Kawagoe Matsuri, which is in Saitama, which is one of my favorite festivals in Japan. This is not on the tourist guide, on the tourist trail. No one talks about this, and yet it's absolutely fantastic. It is a wonderful, absolutely super fun festival. I'm really lucky that I got to see the very last one before the pandemic happened, and I keep waiting for it to come back. It's an October festival. Unfortunately, it's not happening this year again. But when this comes back, I'm going to it again because this one is absolutely fantastic. So I still have this, so I remember to go. Then I just have a few more potential places that I could go. Then I have the guide to my oven because the ovens in Japan are dual function. So it's not only just an actual oven, but it's actually also a microwave. I can also use it as a toaster, stuff like that. So there's like a lot more buttons, a lot more dials, and this actually includes recipes that you can do. So I thought I'd keep this and see if there was anything that seemed very interesting. Two more items left. This is just a magazine for the fall inspiration for some recipes that are absolutely beautiful, things that like maybe a little bit more luxurious than you would get in a standard recipe book, but like definitely just using fall ingredients, fall recipes. And there's definitely, I bought this because there are a few things in here that just look absolutely amazing that I really want to eat. So yeah, this is great. And then the very, very last one is my friend's book, which, I mean, he sold privately. You can't get this anywhere. But he took photographs of the crows in Tokyo for a very long time. He became very friendly with them, and he just took photos of them. Really amazing photos. I really absolutely loved this series he did. It's the only like photography series he did. But here's the standard person trying to take a picture of a crow in the park. I think this is just hilarious. Really great photo. And yeah, it's just, I really loved what he did. And I think he just took some really beautiful photos, and I really wish, he had done more. So here's like crows fighting with each other, territorial dominance and all of that stuff. So really, really beautiful. Anyway, that's it. That's the Ubiquitous bottom shelf. I hope you thought that was interesting. It's basically all the stuff that's not books. So like I said, cookbooks, art, and finances, which you should always keep together quite properly. So anyway, thanks so much for watching this low light video, but I think it shows, you know, the bottom shelf. It gives a very good glimpse into people's personalities, I think. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.